This happened when I was 16 years old, during the depths of winter. Even now, I can't step outside on snowy days without a lingering sense of dread. Back then, snowy days had a particular thrill for me and my friends, Paul and George. We had this childish pastime we called snowman smashing. Whenever the snow fell thick and heavy, we'd roam the village, searching for snowmen built by others, only to gleefully destroy them. It was harmless fun, or so we thought. One day, we stumbled upon a snowman that was unlike any we'd ever seen. It stood tall, as big as an adult, draped in a black cloak. Its face was unsettling. Deeply carved eyes and a jagged mouth, almost grotesque in its precision. Paul, ever the bold one, grinned and said, "Let's see what's inside this one." He shoved his hand into the snowman's mouth and screamed. When he pulled his hand out, it was bleeding. Sharp blades had been hidden inside the snowman's mouth. Furious, Paul spat, "Whoever did this is going to regret it." Ignoring our protests, he yanked off the snowman's cloak, revealing its icy form beneath. Then, with a running start, he leapt into the air and delivered a flying kick, shattering the snowman into pieces. We cheered until we saw it. Lying amidst the broken snow was something dark and pulsating. It looked like a heart. Terrified, we ran. Later, the police investigated and confirmed it was a goat's heart, though they couldn't determine who had placed it there or why. That night, as I lay in bed, an unshakable fear crept over me. My room felt unnaturally cold, as if icy air was seeping in from every corner. I wrapped myself in my blanket, but the chill pierced through me. I didn't sleep a wink. Over the following days, the cold seemed to follow me everywhere. It clung to me like a curse. Winter break ended, and I returned to school, only to be greeted by devastating news. Paul was dead. Apparently, he had tried to perform another flying kick on a snowman but slipped on the icy ground, breaking his neck. George and I were stunned into silence. Though neither of us said it aloud, we both felt the same creeping terror. After Paul's death, the village was gripped by unease. Parents began to forbid their children from going outside on snowy days. The streets were eerily empty whenever it snowed. But then it happened again. Another heavy snowfall blanketed the village, and the next morning, a snowman draped in a black cloak appeared in the middle of the street. Despite the warnings, a group of reckless children smashed it to pieces. One of those children, a boy from the neighborhood, choked to death on a piece of candy later that day. The village fell into a state of silent panic. From that point on, no one dared to touch the cloaked snowman. Parents kept their children indoors, locking their doors tightly on snowy days. Yet, after every heavy snowfall, the snowman with the black cloak would reappear, standing ominously in the village square. Eventually, the snowman stopped appearing, and the tragedies ceased. But the fear lingered. To this day, no one knows who created the snowman or why it seemed to bring death and despair. In our village, even mentioning the snowman is considered taboo. It remains a chilling mystery, an unresolved shadow over our once peaceful winters.